Hi, I'm Kevin Gallagher, Technical Marketing Engineer for F5, and I'm here to show you how to integrate BIG-IP SSL Orchestrator with the Symantec Broadcoms ProxySG as an explicit proxy. This demo here assumes that you have SSL Orchestrator configured with a topology and a service chain. We'll be using BIG-IP version 17.1, SSL Orchestrator version 11, and the Symantec ProxySG will be version 7.3.1. The first thing that we need to do is create VLANs on the BIG-IP. In this case, I already have them created. I have VLAN here, 10.0.0.0 on interface 2.4, and that is for connectivity from the BIG-IP to the ProxySG and back again. And then for connectivity to the north and south of the BIG-IP, I have these two VLANs here. Network north VLAN, south VLAN on interfaces 1.3 and 1.4. And that will be for connectivity to the north of the BIG-IP and the south of the BIG-IP. And I'll have a test client on the north side and a test server on the south side. And the next step is to configure the self IPs. So we'll come along here. We're using 10.0.0.1 on the 10.0.0.0 VLAN. That is again for the connection from the BIG-IP to the ProxySG and back. And then we have the north VLAN and south VLAN using IPs 192.168.0.1 and 172.16.0.1. Okay, so now I've switched over to the Blue Coat ProxySG management console, and we'll do a couple things here from configuration, then network and adapters. We're going to configure one of the pass-through cards here, and that's going to be this one right here. This is pass-through-3, and notice we have an IP address of 10.0.0.5 assigned here. If you need to specify one, you can click Edit here to change the IP address. Now you will probably need a default gateway or a route to let the ProxySG know where to send stuff or connections that are not on its own subnet. So in this case, we have this gateway here of 10.0.0.1, that being the IP address, self IP address of the BIG-IP itself. So this way, the ProxySG knows to return the traffic directly back to the to that BIG-IP SSL Orchestrator. Now, if we come over here to expand services, and then proxy services, and expand this, just need to make sure we have this explicit proxy listener here set to intercept, and that should do it for that. Now, you probably also need to have some sort of policy that would allow the request from the client. In this case, the default proxy policy is allow, but you could use the Visual Policy Manager to create a more granular and secure policy. One thing of note, you may encounter problems if Reflect Client IP is enabled, and I will show you how to turn that off. That is under Proxy Settings and then General, and just make sure that this Reflect Client IP option is not enabled, otherwise you may encounter a routing type of problem. Okay, so here we are back on the BIG-IP management console, and we're looking at the topology that's configured here, and it's L3 and bound, and so we just need to add the service. So we'll come over here to services and then click add, and inline HTTP, and then the Symantec ProxySG HTTP proxy. Double click, give it a name, Symantec in this example, and check the option to auto manage addresses. Make sure it's set to explicit for to service, set to this 10.0.0.1 address. For the HTTP proxy device, it's 10.0.0.5, port 8080. And then we'll select that from 10.0, and we'll enable AutoMap. And then we'll go into the service chain here and make sure we get this moved over to under selected, and save. Okay. Save and next. Deploy. And okay. And when done, it should look like this. If we go to services and expand the pool member status, we can see the Symantec ProxySG right there, and the health is good. All right, so now it's time to test this. So let me bring up my test client here. So in this example, this is a Linux client that connects through the SSL Orchestrator to a Linux server that's running DVWA. And here's the address of it here. So I'll just go ahead and refresh that a couple times. And it looks like that is most surely working. Now, if we come over to the ProxySG and look at statistics and then access logging, we can see the main log here has a bunch of different logged information about this request. You can see the HTTPS request here for login.php, and there's also some image requests as well. Shows the user agent. We can see a 200 OK HTTP response here. So this is definitely working and going through the ProxySG as well. Okay, so this completes the configuration of BIG-IP SSL Orchestrator with the Symantec ProxySG as an explicit proxy. Thank you for taking the time to view this demo.